Here's your God Call with Reverend Bill.
It's interesting to note that a brand new recipe generally doesn't use brand new ingredients. It's simply a different way of combining ingredients that we already have access to or that we've already been using. A lot of times it's stuff that's already been in the house for a while. So the invitation for you is to combine the things that have been showing up in your life all along in a way that brings about something that's new and fresh and delicious and delightful. Have a feast of new possibilities today.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ship. In his apple they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong from the hands of the Almighty. Look forward in this generation, triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever have. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption song, redemption song, redemption song. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption song, these songs of freedom, songs of freedom, redemption song.
Woohoo! Thank you, Dan. Let's see a bald white guy sing Bob Marley. Okay, I thought that was funny. I don't know. Tough crowd. Yeah. Good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Good. How you doing? I'm Breen Rourke, one of the practitioners here, member of the board. I'll be your MC and host for this morning. We've got a fun-filled, action-packed agenda for you all. For folks on Zoom, hey, how you doing? Keep yourselves muted unless you want to say something or we're going to have a cacophony. Folks here, just try to behave yourselves. But we're going to have a cacophony right now. So if you're on Zoom, go ahead and unmute. Folks here, get ready. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I
open
open
myself
myself to
to
love.
Open myself to joy.
I
Open
open myself to joy.
I open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me.
I
open
open myself to the awareness of good surrounding me.
I know that love is right here, right now.
I know that love is here right now.
Oh, it is.
And so it is.
All right, go ahead and mute yourselves on Zoom. Folks here, make sure your phones are on silent or shush or do not disturb, or go put them in the car or whatever you need to do so we can just focus here and now. As I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual, I have to do this, adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today or to our Zoom, we've been waiting for you, and welcome. Now, we believe that there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And that we each use that very same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs, or as we like to say, your new life begins with a new thought. And you can start to emancipate yourself from that mental slavery. Pretty cool stuff. I love how that all comes together. All right. Oh, so I introduced myself. This is Dan Rendine, our musician today. Love having Dan. We've got, who's doing? Joe. Joe's the other practitioner. Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, should be leading us in a meditation. And I'm the other practitioner. We'll be kicking off with an opening prayer, like we open everything. So just take a moment here now to focus in, to feel that connection with spirit that we all have, connected to that one presence, that one power, that one infinite energy that flows through everything. Everything is created from it. That's what science tells us at the cosmic level, that everything is the same. It's just manifesting in different forms and different wavelengths. So that's what we are. That's what the universe is. And it's come together here now as each of us has this idea of New Thought Philadelphia to bring us closer to each other, closer to our true selves, closer to expressing spirit. This time is blessed. I'm so grateful for it, grateful for all these bright lights of love, the words, the music, the ideas, the technology that allows us to be here and be there all at the same time. So with love and gratitude, I claim this good. I know this good. I empower and express this good here now. And I let it be, and so it is. All right. Prayer works. That's why we do it. So we want to hear about how prayer is working in your life. If you're on Zoom, you can click the raise your hand or wave in your camera. I've got a monitor here. I can see if someone here wants to come up and share a prayer work story. We want to hear about how prayer is working in your life. Meetings being recorded. Okay. I saw a hand up over here because I've got at least one. I don't know if anybody else on Zoom. Well, I didn't want to do that. Here comes Bill. Here comes Bill.
Hey, y'all. So we took New Thought Philadelphia hybrid 5 years ago, 5.5 at this point. And one of my intentions when we did that was to cross-pollinate the people who are remote and the people who are local. And that's been going on in varying degrees. And today is a hybrid celebration, so it's perfect timing for this. So there's a fella that we met on the daily meditations a while back. The name on Zoom comes up as Zoom user, but his name is Bill, and he's got this magenta pink background on his Zoom picture. And he also is now connected with us on Insight Timer, and he's a regular. He's a regular on there, and he lives in Bethlehem. And so I did a wedding in a park in Bethlehem on Friday afternoon. And I said, if you'd like, come by and say hi. And it turns out the park is 2.5 miles from his house. So now virtual Zoom user Bill is friend Bill, and we've had the physical connection as well. And I did with him what I do with everybody who I met on Zoom and then meet in person, which is I had him turn around to make sure there's a back to his head. That's my prayer work story.
So I've got two. One is that yesterday I went to my son's home to visit my grandson who's home from the hospital. Woo-hoo! out of the NICU after 11 weeks. He's doing great. Just so wonderful. So wonderful to see my baby boy have a baby boy. And this past week, I ran twice. And there's no pain in my right knee, which is the current focus of my physical therapy. There was some pain in my left knee but we won't even get into that. And it's, check your ego at the door. I had to do the run for a minute, walk for a minute, and which is really difficult for me because I just want to go out and run a marathon without thinking about it. So, but it's progress, and I keep coming back to this. I'm emancipating myself from that mental slavery that says, if I can't just go at least run a 5K, I'm not going to run at all. So I'm running for a minute at a time. And so it is. So prayer works. Anybody on Zoom? I don't see any hands or anybody. So prayer works. If you're not sure what this thing called practical prayer or spiritual mind treatment is, we've got practitioners, myself, Jesus, Joe, Michelle's our PIT practitioner in training, Reverend Bill. Check us on the website. Yeah, prayer works. Give it a whirl. What's next? Oh, here we go. We hear from the other Rourke here today. Jane has the announcements for us. Anybody have a kazoo?
Woohoo, it's so nice to see everybody today. Whoops. Okay. So this engaging information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. You can sign up for the weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. The Practical Prayer podcast this week is The Devil with Carol and Reverend Bill. Listen where you get your podcast. And join in for the live recording session tomorrow at 1 p.m. on New Thought Media Network. We host a dozen 15-minute meditations every week. Drop by for some quick inspiration on Zoom. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. Sandy leads the Power of 8 Intention Circle every Monday evening from 6:30 to 7 to help bring new experience into the lives of the group members. The Anton Retreat at Unity Village is a month away. You can register to take part virtually and see all of the sessions live, plus get priority access to the full video library. Get God Calls. They're a half-minute of inspiration on your phone 4 times every week, starting with a free 2-week trial. Info is at godcall.org. There are now more than 2,525 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. Join or drop by a daily meditation to see what they know. And follow, subscribe, like, and share on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. We are grateful for your financial support. Please support New Thought Philly with a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes these celebrations work. We get together ahead of time to get things in order and have some fun. So email the volunteer coordinator to join the joy. Next Sunday is online with active participation. Reverend Dave Schbach offers insight on facing our tendency to let the noise of everyday life distract us from our desired result. Live original music by Ginger Coyle makes this a true celebration of soul. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration today, Breen is available for a quick transformational miracle in a minute prayer. Stick around in the Zoom meeting after the celebration for casual conversation.
Thank you, Jane. Brilliantly done. I loved how Breen opened us this morning. How you doing? That's so family and so Philly. I'm looking around the room. I'm looking around the Zoom. I see familiar faces. So instead of welcoming a first-time guest, if there's anybody in the room who has not gotten our lovely gift, Jesus will show you what it looks like. Looks like one of those. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Really put the feel into that one. So get one of those. It is a lovely package with a pen and some paper, notepad to write on it, and kind of write the next chapter in your story. Let us bless each other and ourselves. So I invite you, rub your hands together. Feel the warmth, feel the love, feel the power and the presence, and then share that, let it out. We are the bright lights of God's love. I am so grateful for the way that light is shining and that love is unfolding today. Welcome home. Dan's going to do another song for us. The folks in the room are going to wander around and hug each other. So this is the part that actually makes the real difference for the folks who are in person for hybrid. And sorry, folks on Zoom, you can look at each other. You can look at the picture of us hugging each other and feel however you're going to feel. And it's up to you. And we'll get to the peace of mind that you can invite in that in a little bit. Dan?
Day is long and your nights yours alone. Think you've had enough of this life. Hold on. And everybody hurts. Hey. And everybody cries. Everybody hurt. Sometimes everything seems wrong. Oh yeah. Now it's time to sing along. Oh my. When on your own alone. If you feel like letting go, oh Lord. Think you've had enough of this life. Hold on, hold on. Yeah. Everybody hurt. Take comfort in your friend. And everybody hurt. Hey. Don't hold your hands up. No, no, no. Don't hold your hands up. Hey, hey. Don't hold your hands up. Hey, hey. Feel like you're alone. No, 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 you're not alone. Days and nights are long. Oh yeah. Feel like letting go. Oh Lord. Feel you've had enough of this life. Hold on. Hold on. Everybody hurts. Everybody cries. And everybody hurts. Sometimes everything seems wrong. If you feel like letting go, hold on, hold on. And then again, everybody hurts.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody. Every Sunday, we light the flames of faith to remind us of what we have in common with everyone. And we're going to do that again today. And Michelle is going to light and Nia is going to read, and we are going to celebrate.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. The reading today comes from Science of Mind magazine for this month, and it actually celebrates next Sunday, which is the World Day of Peace. So without getting ahead of ourselves, here's Karen Judd.
This selection in the Science of magazine, it's entitled Begin with Peace in Your Heart, and it opens with two quotes. The first one is by Emil Ray. Go to the center of your inner being and radiate peace in every direction. Our wings are small, but the ripples of our heart are infinite. And the next quote is from Ernest Holmes. In this love, I embrace the world and affirm that peace shall come on earth and goodwill exists among people everywhere. We are here together in this moment in history to create a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. It's easy to be overwhelmed by the need, immobilized by the scope. But remember, none of us is responsible for holding it all. Our small contribution can make a difference in the part of the world within our reach. Peace on earth begins with peace in your heart. Use your daily spiritual practice to nourish your soul and locate the coordinates of the calm center within. From your calm center, use the power of prayer to send radiant light to the planet and to all suffering beings. From your calm center, use the power of your words to uplift and empower, to build up and to bring together. From your calm center, use the power of your actions to show up, to volunteer, donate, organize, join a cause. Love, prayer, and compassionate action are not just stuff of spiritual lightweights, but the greatest, most powerful forces in the universe. Our united message of oneness can become the massive beacon of divine light. We are together now for just this reason. Let's light the way, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart, lantern to lantern. Here we stand, souls on a deck, illuminating the path of one love, one light, one peace. And the affirmation to take away with is, I am an infinite, radiant being of love and compassion. I move through the world today as an instrument of peace. And so it is.
Can't read the news. It just gives me the blues. Offers were made, they can't refuse. Ooh, la la la, where will it end? It's hard to find a friend who will relate. Let's just pretend that it has to be, but where do we go when love walks away? Where do we go from here? Where do we go when love turns her back this year? Ooh, la la, it's your prerogative to avoid the negative when you can choose your narrative. Ooh, la la la, it kills the buzz when all your stocks are up. But who needs kindness in your cup when it's all filled up? Where do we go when love walks away? Where do we go from here? Where do we go when love turns it back this year? Time won't give me time enough to feel. When money spins your world and you're the wheel. 'Cause you ain't got the time another day. Someday may be too late to wonder. Ooh, I wonder, where do we go when love walks away? Where do we go from here? Where do we go when love turns it back this year? I wonder, where do we go when it all falls apart? Do we hide in fear? Where do we go when love turns it back this year? Ooh, where do we go when love turns her back this year? La la la, la la la.
Thank you, Dan. That was original, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
First time I ever played that for anybody.
Ooh, ooh, we are honored. So there's a line in scripture that says, the peace that passes all understanding. And that sounds powerful. And the peace that surpasses all understanding. I wonder what that is. I think maybe I'd like to have some of that. It actually came from Philippians 4, and which of course Jesus knew. 6, 7, yep. And actually, it's you got to take it in context, and it's New Testament, so it's about Jesus and the Jesus story, which I'm in favor of. But it's not some of the stuff that Jesus said. The stuff that Jesus said is in my red letter Bible in red letters. And that's the stuff that I find to be really juicy and really meaty. And when I look at the way that I want to follow the Christian teachings, it's I want to do what Jesus said to do, and I want to do what Jesus did. And then there's other parts of the Bible, which are things that other people said that Jesus meant, or that other people should do because of what Jesus thought. And that's what this is. The Philippians is actually a letter from Paul, who had started this church in, I believe, Philippi. And he left, and then he got thrown in prison. So he was trying to encourage the people in the church to keep going because, you know, this is kind of the time when the Christians were being thrown to lions and stuff, and it was not a popular time. So he really had to have some fortitude to stay in Christianity. And so what he said in Philippians 4, verse 4, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say, rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. He's pretty emphatic. He really wanted them to keep following Jesus' teaching, especially since there was some stuff that was going on. But this is very aspirational. He wasn't guaranteeing this. He was hoping for this. And he was trying to encourage other people to hope for this as well. Continues, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Please, oh, please keep doing this. And have you ever found yourself knowing something and having somebody who's dealing with an issue and just wanting them to continue? Persevere. Keep your chin up. Keep going. Keep moving. It gets better. And that's what he's talking about in there. And being aspirational, the peace that surpasses all understanding. All understanding? One of my teachers would say, the peace that surpasses all human understanding. How do I know? How do I know what all human understanding is? Is there a peace that surpasses my understanding? Let's start with that. What is the peace that surpasses my understanding? And then, and this is a question for everybody, what does peace look like to you? What does peace look like at all? Do you think we all agree on what peace is, or what could be peace or peaceful? Is it possible for you right now or this afternoon or for the next month to be peaceful? Can you be at peace? Have you heard there's a lot of stuff going on in the world around us? There's a lot of things that keep showing up in stories and headlines and news and urgent emails that start with a problem and then ask for a donation. There's a lot of that. So with all that going on, can you be at peace? Bigger question. Can you be at peace when others around you are not at peace? Why is that an important question? Because if I can be at peace when the people around me are not at peace, then on the one hand, I get to be a beneficial presence. I get to be that steady point in the middle of this maelstrom, this hurricane of agitation or upset or problem or difficulty. So I get to be a beneficial presence for what's going on for everyone. But more selfishly, if I cannot be at peace when people around me are not at peace, then I am not in control of my own destiny. I'm letting the people around me decide whether or not I can be peaceful. And that's a real slippery slope. And it seems uncaring if I remain peaceful and the people around me are not peaceful. But this spirituality thing, this creating a new experience thing, this is an inside job. If I can't be peaceful and centered and focused about the good that I'm inviting into the world, if I can't start there, if I'm just looking at the stories that are going on in the world around me, oh, that's a problem, this is a difficulty, that's peaceful, that's angry, that's whatever, then I'm wrapped up in the story. And I can't rise above it. Is it possible for you to be peaceful when people anywhere are not peaceful? And that's a trick question. And it seems a little easier to understand because we all know that somewhere in the world, there's something that's not peaceful. There's someone that's not peaceful. Is it possible for me to be peaceful and still honor the disagreement that I have with the people around me? That I can be in a situation where I'm face to face with somebody who's saying something, believing something, doing something that I don't agree with. And you've had relationships with people, you know, where you agree to disagree. No, I'm not on board with that at all. Can we remain at peace instead of giving up our equilibrium, giving up our peace of mind, giving up ourselves because of the other person? It's one of the things that makes me most amused about the Bible is the constant perception that we have to behave because otherwise we're going to anger God. We don't want to anger God because God will punish us. That is nonsense. And the reason that's nonsense, I'm going to go into the actual details of why that's nonsense, is because God is an infinite creative power. God or spirit or nature or the Big Bang or whatever it is, the creative source of everything that exists everywhere. And not just me and the people in this room and the people in the area, the ones who are joining us on Zoom, but this entire planet, this entire solar system, this entire galaxy, all of the galaxies in this universe, all created by that one divine power and presence. So it's big. And the thought that I can do something that's going to make that infinite creative power pissed off puts me in charge of the relationship. What kind of infinite creative power is going to give me their power to get angry because of something that I did or thought or said? So the challenge for us is to remember that it's an inside job, that peace is available regardless of what's going on in the world around us. And we're not going to piss off God if we don't do what the people around us say to do. Then the question becomes, what do we do? So you might have heard in the news this week, there was an assassination. Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah. And I can hardly believe that I am mentioning Charlie Kirk from my pulpit because I did not agree with anything he said. I also don't agree with political violence. I don't think assassination is a way to solve a problem. I don't think that that leads to peace or understanding or harmony or uplift in any direction. I also don't agree with the political theater that resulted from the whole thing, as the people on the right blamed Antifa and the people on the left all said political violence has to stop. It's like, well, there's an imbalance that's going on here, you know, and because the shooter apparently on the shell casings wrote stuff about not liking fascists. Got labeled, oh, this is another Antifa. Like, okay, we've heard this before. Antifa, bad. DEI, bad. But as Breen suggested, if you break it down into diversity, equity, and inclusion, are you against diversity? Well, no. Are you against equity? Where everybody gets the same chance? Well, no. Are you against inclusion? Well, no, I think everybody should be invited to belong. Okay, so it's a nonsense claim because you put a label on it. It's DEI, so it's bad. Antifa, which means anti-fascist. Okay, raise your hand if you're in favor of fascism. Okay, anybody thinks a little more fascism would make your life better? No, so it's the labels that are getting put on there. It's not popular to say that you're against fascism. I don't know why. I'm still not going to change my mind. I think fascism is bad. Personal opinion. There are people who disagree with me. I'll have a conversation. And the question, as we talk about the peace that surpasses all understanding, is what is peace worth? If you could buy peace, would you go out and buy some? And how much would it cost? And we talk not just about the price like in dollars, but it's the price in spiritual coin. What am I going to put into this spiritually and emotionally and mentally to bring about this experience of peace? Or opportunity cost.
which is how businesses talk about stuff. Yes, we can invest in this, but then we won't have the money to invest in something else. The opportunity cost is what do you give up? So what would you give up for peace? Because there are people who say that you can have peace, all you need to do is surrender. Put your arms in the air, give up, do what we say, and you can have peace. Does that work? Generally not. You can do it, try appeasement. Try and figure out what they want that will keep them from being mad at you so you can have peace. We can try avoidance. This is sounding like all of the things that you do with the fight, flight, or or appease. There's violence as a possibility. I don't know that that's going to work either. And I can't tell you what the answer is. I can't tell you what the answer is for you. We all get to figure that out for ourselves. What is the peace that surpasses my understanding? So for some reason, I woke up very early this morning and I found myself reading Ralph Waldo Emerson's address to the Harvard Divinity School. And this was a notorious thing. It was he was a Unitarian minister, and he had kind of taken himself out of Unitarian ministry because he didn't agree with a lot of the Christian doctrine. And this speech that he gave in 1830-something was the last time he was invited to speak at the Harvard Divinity School because he basically ticked them off. And he had a couple of points that he made. And the biggest point that he made is that all of the scripture and all of the teaching and that was going on in Christianity was in the past tense, about God being in the past and all of these stories being in the past. And what we need to do is read Philippians from the Bible, and that's the last word. And he said, it's not true. It's ongoing. He said, God is, not was. He that speaketh, not spake. The true Christianity, a faith like Christ's in the influence of man, is lost. We need to reclaim that. And he was facing uncertainty like a brand new country that still had slavery. There have been some stuff that's happened since then. And still the same sorts of challenges come along. How can I be peaceful? What can I do to bring peace into my life, into my world, into my community, into my environment, into my world? The joke that I make is the one thing that will unite humanity more instantaneously than anything else is smart space aliens. Another species shows up here and they're smarter than we are. Suddenly we're all the same. Suddenly we are all the same. And no, I am not hoping for that. It'd be interesting. My sci-fi nerd part says that could be fun. Depends on what they show up wanting. But the other thing that's really important to me as I'm looking at the things around me that I consider to be not peaceful is what's the metaphysics of that? Because in metaphysics, what we do is we speak our word of intention, our word of invitation. We create a belief and state a belief, and we give voice to that, and that becomes creative. So one of the things that is completely not lost on me is that one of the things that Charlie Kirk believed very strongly, and he talked about a lot, is that there should be guns allowed on campus. Whoops, maybe one fewer would have been better for him. That was something he talked about all the time as he made appearances on college campuses. So he was a believer in exactly what it was that became his own personal downfall. Am I going to do that to say nya? No, I'm not. I'm going to say that's metaphysically the way that it works, and the universe showing a little irony. Whenever we're dealing with a situation that's not going the way that we believe is going to be peaceful, that's going to be harmonious, that's uplifting, that's what we're looking for, look at the metaphysics. Look at what would be happening instead if that weren't happening. Look at the beliefs that are behind whatever it is that's been happening, and how did that come about? So what happened this week was about violence for political gain. Somebody was making a political statement using violence. And was that the only place that was going on this week? Well, no. There's this whole thing that you might have heard about going on between Russia and Ukraine, where Russia decided a few years ago that it really wanted something politically, and it was going to take it by violence, by force. And that continues to be ongoing. And in that situation, for us, it's really easy to see who the good guys and the bad guys are. Yay, Ukraine. Free Ukraine. And that's a perspective. I understand that. And there are other people, maybe not that many, maybe people who I completely disagree with, who want it to go the other way. There are others which are much more of a quagmire. There's what's going on with Israel and Hamas and the Palestinians. Because I look at that and I say, well, Israel and Hamas, who's right and who's wrong? Well, Hamas attacked first, and then Israel overreacted, and now the Palestinian, all the people are, so it's a thing. What does peace look like there? What does peace look like there? I don't know. There are a lot of people who believe that immigration, illegal immigrants, are a problem in this country. And we have seen what happens when that turns to political violence to get the let's get immigration under control. And that's not okay with me either. Yes, if there's a problem, let's solve the problem, let's address and identify the problem, and then take steps to correct it, but not necessarily resort to political violence. So the question for you is, what's worth taking a stand? What is worth taking a stand? What is worth, as Ernest Holmes said, looking a fact in the face and knowing something better? So, and just for fun, I started going through what are the things that are under attack now. And I came up with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because there's something in all of these, every level of this, that's under attack. Self-actualization, creativity, personal growth, moral development, pursuit of meaning, purpose-driven action, peak experience, joy, transcendence, and insight. As soon as we give up our peace and peace of mind, we lose that one. The next one down is esteem, self-respect, confidence, respect from others, reputation, recognition, and achievement. There is so much name-calling going on in the world around us, that's under attack. What kind of a world do I want to live in? What kind of a world do we want to live in? The next one down from there is love and belonging. Family, friendship, community, romantic relationships, group membership, affection, and intimacy. There's a huge amount of us versus them that's going on in our country now. Divisiveness, who would you vote for, or what do you believe in, or who do you back? And it turns into all of the yelling. I have noticed that when I listen to the news, there will be a question from a reporter that says, we've taken away all of the funding for X. And it could be something about vaccines, or it could be something about the weather service, or it could be something about anything, disaster preparedness. What are we doing? And the response is, we are committed to being prepared for disasters. We are committed to keeping people healthy. We are committed to making the children safe. And there's nothing behind it. So when I look at that sort of theater going on, I want to know where can I take a stand? What is it that I'm able to do in this? Getting down towards the bottom of the pyramid, it gets even more obvious. Safety needs, personal security, no violence, crime, or war, health and well-being, stable environment, financial security, safety nets. Okay, you're probably seeing where that's coming in. And then the bottom one is air, water, food, shelter, clothing, sleep, reproduction. Reverend Bill, you're a real downer this morning. Why are you bringing this up on Sunday? We're going to hear about it again on Monday. And the reason that I do that is just to point out that all of this stuff is under attack. So my inbox is filled with people who are talking about this issue or that issue and this issue and the other issue. And I agree with them all. And I support them all. And it's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming to try and deal with that, to try and maintain my peace and peace of mind. I've been involved in some of the protests. And it's really interesting because you go to the protests and everybody's protesting something different. They're protesting ICE and immigration raids. They're protesting giving personal data to private individuals. They're protesting the military being used against the citizens in our country. And they're all very valid protests. And it seems scattered, but it's not. It's not. The thing that we get to do, look a fact in the face and know something better. What is it going to take for me to be that presence of peace? not just to be peaceful for myself, but to bring that peace into the world, to be that beneficial presence who can look at whatever it is that's going on and say, no, not in my country, not on my watch. I'm looking that fact in the face and knowing something better. I'm saying no, and I'm standing up and I'm letting my voice be heard, and I'm going to be persistent about it. And I'm not just going to do that by standing on the corner in Ardmore, which I've done, or by marching around Independence Mall, which I've done. The part for me is to start in consciousness, to start using that same creative principle that has created everything. Is peace possible? Well, I can wring my hands and look at the news and say, I don't know how this could possibly work out. Then again, I don't know that I would have been able to create a universe filled with billions of galaxies just starting with infinite energy. But that worked. So I got to say, yeah, the peace that I am seeking is possible. It's a universe of infinite possibilities. So when I identify that which I want to be experiencing, that which I would prefer, and I set my intention for that, and I let go of the distraction and the negation that it's not possible, that it can't happen, the people who are against it are too powerful. They might be too powerful for me. They're not too powerful for the infinite. We can take that message from Paul, the Philippians, to keep our attention focused on the divine, to keep ourselves aware that there is this new possibility unfolding. Let ourselves be guided into what's ours to do and keep at it. Don't be distracted. Don't be discouraged. Find your people. Mutual support's always wonderful. Know the truth. You, we, everyone, love unfolding in its own unique way. And we all deserve peace and harmony and uplift and good. And so it is.
So many times I've been alone, a stranger in my own vision boat. So many times I've been ashamed, shadow on the street without a name. Came along and you let me in, growing in this second skin. And I'm feeling that way every time that you come near, changing the atmosphere, electricity. All the breezes blowing cool and clear, whispering possibility. I got a feeling something good this way comes, going through abandoned leaves. There's change in the atmosphere, change is coming over me. Maybe it's the moon in a different phase. Maybe I'm holding down, I'm softening my way. Maybe it's all the things you are. I'm following direction in a brighter star. Show me love I never knew. A gray skies in a shade of blue. Shine your light, now everything's becoming clear. Changing the atmosphere, electricity. All the breezes blowing cool and clear, restoring possibility. I got a feeling something good this way comes, going through abandoned leaves. There's change in the atmosphere, change is coming over me. you said my name, I'll never ever be the same. The sound of your voice calling the sweetest I could hear. There's a change in the atmosphere, electricity. All the breezes blow cool and clear, whispering possibility. I got a feeling something good this way comes, blowing through a bend and lead. There's a change in the atmosphere, change is coming over me. There's a change in the atmosphere, change in the atmosphere. There's a change in the atmosphere, change is coming over me.
Thank you, Dan. Well, that brought up a lot to think about. And one of the things that occurred to me was an old Chinese proverb. It basically starts that if you want harmony in the world, you start with light in the person, and harmony in the home, and harmony in the nation, and then harmony in the world. And I come back to that energy, whether it's light, vibration, whatever. But that energy is the driving force. We're going to move into some meditation, and I thought we might be able to think about how do we change our own vibration to counteract the downward spiral, the more dense energy. How do we radiate love and compassion? Because Einstein told us it's all energy, and that's the only way I can think of to, if we think about the metaphysics of it, as Reverend Bill talked about. Metaphysically, we need to vibrate at a different frequency to counteract this. And literally change the atmosphere. Peace is not the absence of trouble, upheaval, discord, and I'm paraphrasing. It's being in the middle of all that and still holding peace in our hearts. That's our challenge. We need to radiate that love and compassion, be those instruments of peace, be that beneficial presence. So let's take a few deep breaths, get comfortable in our chairs, just settle into that peace that surpasses, or hopefully surpasses all understanding. So again, get comfortable, get your feet flat on the floor. We'll start by taking 3 slow deep breaths. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and release. Feel that little bit of space, that little bit of relaxation. And let's deepen it with 1 more deep breath. Breathe in, hold it, and release. Last deep breath, bring it in, inhale, hold, and release. How can I be that beneficial presence? How can I shine my light? Paint the mental picture. Create the mental equivalent of radiating light and love and peace. And try to feel that vibration inside. Envision yourself as that beneficial presence.
for each one of us can be peace in the midst of chaos. And we watch the chaos subside. And breathe into that, into the silence.
Peace that surpasses all human understanding emanates from that one. It is that one. That one presence, power, force, energy, that is back of everything, that is everything. So that peace is available always. It is present in me and each of us always. So I open my heart, I open my mind, I open myself and allow that peace to express. And just as we are all unique expressions of that one, that peace will express in unique and individual ways for and through each of us. Maybe a simple act of smiling at a stranger on the street. Letting that person merge, even though they didn't use their turn signal. Allowing that peace to unfold is our charge. And in whatever way we're drawn to. And I'm grateful for that opportunity, grateful for that understanding and the ability to allow and to be peace however I can, wherever I can, whatever that means for me in my life now. So I allow that, I accept it, and I open to it, claiming that good here and now. So I let it be. And so it is. I invite you to take a nice, deep, full, cleansing breath. Breathe in. Exhale. Bring some gentle motion to your body. Maybe roll your shoulders. Wiggle your fingers or toes. Gently and lovingly allow the light to come back to your eyes. Bring your awareness back to the room here, wherever you are on Zoom. Dan's going to sing us another song.
Sometimes my mind is filled with good intentions, love to pave a path ahead, pictures of the past and worries of tomorrow, obsessions in circles that never help. When my mind is filled with reasons, second guessing, changing season, there is some place I always go. Oh, my soul is filled with forgiveness. My soul is filled with forgiveness. Too much time spent all alone in the city. Feel the urge to wander all through my bones. Wanna run and hide, leave everything that I know behind. Find what I've been looking for outside myself. When I grab my things and leave, sweet music flows all over me. There is no place I have to go. Oh, my soul is filled with forgiveness. My soul is filled with forgiveness. I'm not looking for some kind of protection. I'm only looking for a sign of direction. Tired of getting in my soul. Oh, my soul is filled with forgiveness. My soul is filled with forgiveness. My soul is filled with forgiveness. My soul is filled with forgiveness.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Breen and Joe. Thank you, everybody. So, light topic, world peace. But perhaps planting some seeds. Perhaps there's an idea. Perhaps there's something that you'd like to give voice to, something that came up for you. If you do, then come on up. If you're in the room or if you're on Zoom, raise your hand. And come on up, Jesus.
Thank you, Joe, Breen, for that meditation, that prayer. Thank you, Rev, for that talk. Always remind me of peace. I'm going through a little turmoil, not aligned the way I like to be. So I like to meditate on peace. And Reverend Bill said, what it looks to you, but when you meditate on peace and use different words for peace, in Spanish is paz, in Hindu is shanti, and in Hebrew is shalom. So once I be saying those words in my inner self, so it don't take long for you to be in that peaceful state. So that's one of my favorite meditation and peace, because it takes me in that place where I be comfortable and pleasant and soothing in myself. And I'm just thinking about the peace of tomorrow, versus tomorrow never comes. I remember somebody saying, tomorrow never come. They had a sign in a bar where you could say, if you don't drink, free beers tomorrow, free Coca-Colas. And when I went tomorrow to get my free beer, the guy says tomorrow. so it never gets here. So yeah, thank you. And tomorrow, yeah, I'll be flying out. I'll be going to see my beautiful mom. So that brings me peace too. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Dina.
Sometimes in a day where thousands of words are said and sung, just one little nugget that you can put in your pocket is the one that just really hits. And for me today, it was peace in the middle of chaos. Thank you. That was my nugget. That was really awesome. Thank you, Joe. And Dan, oh my God, Dan, you're so good. I love you so much. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, Dina. And a quick shout out to Dina, who is our music director and puts together the lineup of the musicians, including Dan. So I'm going to bring Jane back up here to lead us in our offering. Nobody else had a wisdom share on? Nope, no hands. Look, Ma, no hands.
Okay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We do have a basket in the room and a donate button on the website to make a donation by Zelle, Cash App, credit card, PayPal, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. We are grateful for every way you share. The offering affirmation is on the screen, and we'll all unmute and say the affirmation together. I live in an
abundant universe.
I am
I am
one.
one
I'm
with
one
the
with
infinite
infinite
source of all good.
I am a
I am
center
a
of
center of
conscious
conscious
prosperity.
prosperity.
I
I
enjoy the
enjoy the
richness of
richness of
life.
life.
I
I
bless
bless
my
my
gift.
gift.
I
I
share my
share
gift
my gift with
with
gratitude and joy.
I
And I
know
know
that
that as I give, I do
receive.
receive.
So it is.
It is. Thank you, everyone. Dan Rendine, one more for us, please.
As I walk this wicked world, searching for harmony, I ask myself, oh, is there only pain and hatred and misery? Each time I feel like this inside, there's one thing I wanna know. What's so funny about peace, love, understanding? Ooh, what's so funny about peace, love, understanding? As I walk through troubled times, my spirit gets so downhearted. Sometimes live on the strong, and who are the trusted? Where is the harmony, sweet harmony? Each time I feel like this inside, there's one thing I wanna know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, and I'm strong. Who are the trusted? Where is the harmony, sweet harmony? Each time I feel like this inside, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Understanding, brother. Understanding, sister. Understanding.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, everybody. Let's close with a cacophony. For those of you on Zoom, go ahead and unmute the people in the room. You can stand up. You can hold hands. You can make a circle. You can do what feels good to you. Repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
My love flows.
My love
My
flows.
light shines.
My light
Shines beyond all understanding.
beyond all understanding.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everybody. Wonderful to have you here.